Auf geht's Deutschland. This is not a German video, but we do have a commitment for the University of Florida in Noel Portnjagin from Germany, which is, hence the German at the beginning of the video there. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and dive into his highlight tape. After we watch his highlights here, which are going to be freaking nasty, we're going to dive into his commitment, what it all means, and how I feel. Look at this. All right, so instantly you're going to see how athletic this kid is. Oh, my goodness. I mean, yeah, he's playing in Europe. He's playing against kids that are way smaller than him. He's playing against kids that, probably first played soccer growing up or probably still prefer soccer. But, dude, just watch this guy's highlight tape. Watch how fast he is. Watch how nimble he is, how well he moves. Look at his ability to pull there. This guy is, I'm going to call him the German dancing bear. He has a dancer background. I don't know, a ballet or something along those lines. I might be wrong on that, but his parents are some kind of competitive dancers, and he grew up dancing. And now big boy wound up being 6'5", 330, and an ability to move his feet like not many other kids have. So this is going to be a case of his ranking is never going to show how good he actually is, just because he is out of Europe. Maybe if he moved down to Florida or something along those lines, went to a bigger school, maybe then he shows his ability against better competition. But my goodness, this kid is uber athletic for his size. Again, 6'5", 330 pounds, and he's reported it to be all of that. Camped at Florida last week, immediately got an offer. As we see him just running down the field and mauling kids and just getting places that offensive linemen should not be going, or getting there as fast as they should be getting. And he still has nasty hands too, man. He gets them inside. He surprisingly has really good technique. He's really strong with his punching. It's hard to say this right now. Seeing he's not playing against kids from Florida or Georgia or Alabama or wherever, but this kid has 5-star ability to move. And I know he's never going to come close to that, and I know people are going to roll their eyes that aren't Florida fans. But, just look at him in the open field there, man. He is so fluid. He's so good with his feet, and he already has such good technique. He reaches out well with his extension. He gets his hands into the defenders. He has great leverage. He gets down well. You see there, he keeps his knees bent and his feet turning. Dude, it's just nothing but positives from this video. And it mainly, the main takeaway is look at his ability to punch, along with this elite athleticism he contains, because it is elite. I don't care what anybody wants to say. Look at him pulling right there. He gets to spots so quick for his size that you can't deny it, man. I don't give a shit who he's playing. Excuse my language. I already know that's what the opposing teams or the opposing fan bases are saying. Oh, he's from Germany. He's not that good. He doesn't play anybody that's good. Look how small these kids are. Football is not even their third or fourth most popular sport. I don't care, man. Wait till this kid gets to Florida. There's a reason Florida offered while he camped. There's a reason. Auburn offered at camp. He literally showed up at their camp and they offered. Come on, man. A tall tale sign that kids are underrated. South Carolina offered as well. I'm not sure if he camped with them or not, but they offered. 3 SEC offers with no ranking doesn't make any sense, and I understand why. He's from Europe. They don't really have an ability to see him in person. But come on, guys, just put on the tape. Go ahead and put a 4-star rating on this kid. I know they're not going to. I think On3 has him as an 86 3-star, which is just not correct. This kid has so much upside, as I'll keep saying all throughout the film. So that's his, I think more so like his spring highlights, I want to say, at guard. And now we're going to go look at him actually playing a little bit of tackle. So he has the ability to play both. And there he is again, just showing his ability to get his hands and drive, stay low with, good leverage. He's unique, man. He is, again, I'm going to try and coin phrase it, he's the German dancing bear. He is, he's a freak, man. I think this kid is a future 2 to 3 year starter at Florida, depending on how long he stays. I mean, he's going to obviously probably need a year or two to get used to the speed and the size of these kids he's going to be playing against. I mean, you can look across the other side of the field from him right now. Yeah, they're not very big. They don't appear to be very super athletic. I mean, these kids are still European, man. I'm sure they're plenty athletic. I mean, a lot of these kids probably, like I said, grew up playing soccer or, whatever it may be, whatever sport. They still have sports over there, and they're still plenty athletic. Maybe it's not football athletic, but they're not far off. I just really like this kid, man. Everything about his technique, you can see the verified size there, how thick he is. He's tall. I mean, he looks all of 6'4", 6'5". I think he can play tackle or guard. I fully expect him to play guard just because Billy Napier compared him to Cyrus Torrence. Only the All-American guard from Florida last season. No big deal. Napier doesn't really come out and say stuff like that for every kid that commits. So, I mean, when you get told you're Cyrus Torrence, yeah, you're pretty good. So let's go look. Obviously, right now, his ranking is going to be a little bit lower on our big board. I should have already been there. Sorry. So right now, he is going to be number 60 on the overall board, right there below Jalen Harvey, Jaden Jackson, some other defensive linemen that have visited recently. Mario Cravers right there. You can ignore some of these other guys that are committed, like TJ Moore. We don't like him no more. We do not like you no more, TJ. Just kidding. But, I mean, we can just look at him on the commit board here. He is going to be higher already than Mike Williams and Josiah Davis. And I can go ahead and tell you right now, you can look at the impact score, and I don't care who thinks I'm a homer. I gave him a 9 on the impact score. That is the 5th highest score out of our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 commitments. Only behind, the 4 kids that are all ranked in the top 50 nationally. So, I mean, do what you will with that. Have your own opinion. Think what you want to think. I think this kid has tremendous upside, and I think Billy Napier and staff got a steal. I fully expect him to be, like I said again, a 2 to 3 year contributor. Actually, let's go look at the interior offensive line, and we can even look at some tackles. We talked about the tackles in the Mike Williams video last time, so I won't go into detail on them. But on the interior offensive line, which, again, is where I think he's going to wind up, you can see here, I mean, all 3 of these guys who are projected to start are all upperclassmen. They very well, all 3 could be gone after this season. I'm not saying it's going to happen. So there is a major need at the interior for Florida. I think it depends on, Damian George could flip inside as well. There's some other guys, Bryce Levette could play inside. I think that's about it, though. There's not many guys you can flip inside that you want to take away from tackle. Maybe Lindell Hudson, but he only has 1 year. Apparently, I guess that's how many years he has. That's just from looking back at his high school graduation year. But, again, interior offensive line, it looks extremely important because if you're going to, let's say Richie Leonard stays and it got, Kingsley, he's got to be about ready to graduate. Micah is probably on his last year if he even stays at Florida after all his offseason stuff. I don't think there's a reason to believe he doesn't stay at Florida. But who knows what's going to happen with him after this season. So now we're down to Richie Leonard, who I think will probably be back next year, and he's a pretty good player. And then it gets down to Jalen Farmer. I think he's a really solid player. He's only a freshman. Jake Slaughter, from all reports, he's performed pretty well. Had a pretty big play against Desmond Watson in the offseason. So he's got upside. He's a younger guy as well. And then we just have a bunch of unknowns, the freshman class that we had last year. And also this should be a redshirt freshman here with Christian Williams. Christian Williams is the Napier guy that Rob Zell and Darnell Stapleton handpicked in their first class. Kind of swooped and got him last second, but apparently they like him a lot in the interior. Roger Kearney obviously has the high ranking. And then Najee Harris, I think he's still going to wind up playing center, so not really the position I predict for Portnjagin to play. But either way, that's primarily that's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 guys on the interior that'll for sure be back for next year, and that's only his freshman season. So this guy is going to have an ability to really show himself against probably the starting units, second team. He's really going to have the ability to get on the field early. And I think if he can handle the speed and the size of the SEC, which, he may not a big deal either way. I mean, as long as he gets used to it after 2 or 3 years, I think he'll have the ability to see the field pretty early. So we're talking about definitely at least a 2-year starter, I think, for Florida. I'm feeling pretty solid here. I'm pretty sold. I was really surprised at how much I liked this film. I don't. You can go back and watch all my other videos. I mean, I'm not as high on every single kid that Florida takes. Yeah, I think a lot of them are normally underrated, for the most part, or at least right on in the ranking if they're higher rated. But this one is way different. I'm feeling really good about this one. I think Rob Sell and Darnell Stapleton, especially with their proven ability to develop talent, hence having 4 or 5 players in the NFL from Louisiana. I mean, how many schools have 4 or 5 guys that play consistently in the NFL, or second or third round picks at a smaller school like that? Not many. I think you can look to coaching and development and the ability to see talent as the primary reason for that. I don't think they just lucked into 4 or 5 NFL players at Louisiana along the offensive line during their time. So I'm feeling really good here, guys. And I think Florida got an absolute steal. It won't show in the recruiting rankings most likely because most sites will refuse to probably give him the rating he probably deserves. But when you have 3 SEC schools offer just on site after a camp, that should tell you something, I believe. Especially with Florida's need in the interior. I mean, they didn't have to offer him and take his commitment this early, and I mean, bam, a week later he's already committed. So Noel Portnjagin, I think he's going to be quite the player for Florida. And that'll be it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you could like and subscribe, it helps me out a whole lot. It helps me keep creating this content to go run off from my 3 children, a third one on the way. So hopefully I can keep doing this and you guys enjoy. But until the next video, go Gators.